Welcome to the Urban Survivor channel, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at my Urban Get Home bag for 2021. The distance between my home and my work is about 20 miles and it's right through Los Angeles, and there are plenty of different routes. And the get home journey is through cities and suburbs, so the items in the kit are catered to urban environments. Also, if it's cold out, I'll have a jacket with me as part of my EDC. I expect the get home walk would only take about 10 to 12 hours, and I've done my best to pack items that would facilitate a speedy journey, but I've also packed additional items that would help me travel a distance of 50 miles and a longer 3-night stay without restocking on supplies if necessary. As we go through the pack, let me know in the comments if you have any ideas on how to make the kit better, or if you get some good ideas, let us know what you like and give this video a thumbs up as well. I'll post a full list of the contents of this bag in the description, along with links to some of the reviews of individual items that I've done as well. I keep this get home bag in the back of my Toyota 4Runner, which is the vehicle that I take back and forth to work. Another item I keep is an extra pair of good shoes and a hat. Having a good pair of shoes is really important, especially if you need to walk for an extended period of time. I also keep a spare hat with me as well, and I keep them attached to the bag with a carabiner so they don't get separated. Before we dive into the kit, I want to talk a little bit about the backpack I picked to build the kit in and why I picked it. This is the 3V Gear Surge Hydration Backpack. It has a 20-liter capacity and it comes with a 2-liter water reservoir. It's got several different zippered compartments for organization and pockets on the hips. This bag is more of a hiking backpack, and it also has a hip strap, comfortable shoulder straps, and a sternum strap to help redistribute the weight and to make walking for extended periods of time more comfortable. Before we dive into the main compartments, I'll walk you through the smaller compartments on the outside of the pack. These are the items that I keep in the hip pockets that I want to be able to have quick and easy access to. This is the Nitecore Nu25 headlamp. I decided to go with the headlamp instead of a flashlight for my primary light because they free up your hands to do other things. It's also USB rechargeable along with most of the electronics in this kit, and I'll discuss that more in a little while. Next up is a Workpro utility knife. This utility knife is really lightweight, and it's nice to have something handy to cut things if needed. I also keep a small backup light to my primary light, which is a Nitecore TIP SE. This light is USB-C rechargeable and has a maximum output of 700 lumens, and it can be kept in storage on standby for up to a year. There's also a small can of pepper spray, which is good for self-defense, and it has about a 6-foot range on it. Finally, we have a 5/16 Sillcock Key, which you can use to access water from spigots on the outside of buildings. There are plenty of these along my get home journey, so it's good to have this as a way of accessing water. Next, there's a small zippered pocket on the top, which has a spare pair of polarized sunglasses and some gloves. The sunglasses are important to protect your eyes, and this is really important especially if you're going to be walking outside all day in the sun. The gloves have a rubberized coating and are good for protecting my hands, keeping them warm, and picking up hot objects if necessary. Another nice thing about this pack is the fact that it has 2 nice big water bottle holders, one on each side of the bag, and compression straps to help hold them in place. Water is the most important component to my get home bag, and there's 2 1.5-liter bottles for a total of 3 liters. I can also use these bottles to fill up the 2-liter reservoir, which I'll show you towards the end of the video. On the outside of the bag, there's a bungee compression system and a small pocket, and inside that I keep the Zeus i26 solar charging battery bank. This solar charging power bank is the powerhouse of this kit, and it has enough battery to charge my Samsung Galaxy over 5 times. It can also be used to charge different USB powered flashlights in the kit as well. It's waterproof and it can be hung from the outside of the bag, and it can also pick up a little bit of charge from the sun. Now we're going to dive into the first main zippered compartment. Inside I keep an ultralight Adventure Medical 0.3 kit, and inside it's got some basic items for wound care, a handful of medications, some moleskin for blister treatment and prevention, some tweezers, and a few other little useful items. It's not much, but it could come in handy, and it's good to have some moleskin because it'll make your walk a lot more comfortable if you start to develop blisters. Next to that, there's a small red dry bag, and inside of that I keep some local maps of Los Angeles, one of San Diego, and a larger one of California just in case. Having some good maps is useful in case your GPS on your phone doesn't work for some reason. I also keep a book about wild edible plants and a spare pen to help me plan my route. Beneath that, there's 2 small mesh pockets, and inside there's a few items that I like to keep, including a Milwaukee Fastback utility knife, This button locking utility knife has a great grip and space to store spare blades in the handle. There's also a Leatherman Wingman multi-tool. I keep about $100 in spare cash in this kit as well, which I may add more to in the future. There's some sunscreen to protect my skin on the long walk home. There's a few wet ones, antibacterial wipes for keeping things clean as well. There's a small bottle of insect repellent. This is a small 1-ounce bottle of Purell hand sanitizer, which is useful for cleaning hands, and it can also be used to help start fires. And finally, a small Carmex Lip Balm to help protect my lips on the walk home. Now we're going to move on to the main compartment of the pack, and on top there's a small black dry bag, which I use to store some more of my electronics. Inside I've got an Eton Grundig radio, which picks up AM, FM, and shortwave, and it runs on AAA batteries. Having a radio is important because it can help me find out news in my local area, especially if cell phone service isn't working. Listening to the radio can also help the time pass if you're walking and make the journey a little more enjoyable. I also keep a few spare batteries for the radio as well, and a pair of earbuds so I can listen quietly and also save some of the battery life. I also keep an extra small Jackery power bank in the kit as a backup to the Zeus. It's really small and it can charge my phone about 50%, and I can even give it to somebody else who might need to charge along the way. This is a USB-C cable which can charge my phone and the Nitecore TIP SE. I also keep a 3-in-1 USB cable which has a micro USB, a USB-C, and a lightning cable which can charge the headlamp and somebody else's phone if needed. There's also a wall plug with a USB port and also a car charging USB port as well. Another great item in the kit is the Olight Obulb. This Obulb is a lantern style light, which is nice if I stop for the night and I want hands-free light. It also has a flashing red strobe mode, which is good for signaling. I also keep a magnetic USB charging cable for the Obulb as well. Beneath the electronics kit is where I store some spare clothes. I decided to go with moisture-wicking performance clothing for the kit. Having clothes designed for walking and running long distances is really important if your get-home journey is a long distance. Inside of another small organizer, I keep a spare beanie for keeping my head warm and 3 spare pairs of socks. It's important to change your socks regularly, especially if they get wet, to help prevent blisters, which is why I keep a few different pairs. This is really important if you have a long get-home journey. These days, it's important to keep a face covering with you, and for that I use this gaiter. You can wear it in a few different ways, and I much prefer it to those paper masks, especially for exercising. Inside this bag is a long sleeve moisture wicking athletic shirt from Baleaf. I wear these shirts when I run and they're really comfortable. Long sleeves are nice because they help prevent sunburn as well. These are some athletic shorts from Baleaf as well, and this is the kind with the built-in underwear, which is nice if you have to go through a rigorous get-home journey. The last item in this compartment are 3 18-hour body size hot hands. These are a great source of warmth if you have to sleep in the cold. Finally, we have the hydration compartment, which is the last section of the kit. On top, I keep a small rain poncho to help keep me dry if it starts to rain. And beneath that, there's another dry bag, which is packed with some different snacks to sustain me on the journey. This food doesn't require any prep or hot water, and it can be eaten on the go. All of it also has a decent shelf life of at least a few years, and between the items there's a little over 3,500 calories. Alright, so for food we have a couple different bags of beef jerky. Not many calories here, but it's nice to have a snack that's easy to eat. Next up we have some complete cookies, which I picked up from REI. These cookies come in a bunch of different flavors and they're really delicious, and each one has 420 calories. This one is chocolate, but I've also got a snickerdoodle one and a chocolate chip one as well. There's also 3 Blueberry Muffin Pro Meal Bars from REI as well, and each one of these has 400 calories. There are a bunch of different flavors of these as well, but these are the best ones that I've tried. Finally, there's a Snickers Bar, which has 440 calories, and having at least one of these should be a requirement in all get-home bags. This is the 2-liter water reservoir that came with the backpack. You can use it if you want to drink water more easily if you're walking, and there's a small loop on top of the pack which you can feed the reservoir tube through. You can even swap this out for a 3-liter reservoir if you want. For shelter, I have an SOL Escape Bivvy. I've slept in these a handful of times and they're really compact and do a relatively good job of keeping you warm and dry. If I have to sleep in it, I'm going to be using one of those 18-hour hot hands to keep warm as well. Finally, the last few survival items I keep in a Ziploc bag to help keep them dry and organized. First, we have a small waterproof container of UCO Stormproof Matches. These are excellent for getting a fire started, even under difficult conditions. Next, there's some Go towels, which can expand when you add just a few drops of water. These are really useful for keeping clean. I keep some spare contacts in the kit as well. This is a Sawyer Mini water filter and an extra water bag. This is good for filtering water in case you find a questionable source of water that you need to drink from. In Los Angeles, I would consider the city water source questionable. Here's a small Bic Style Lighter, which I keep as an additional method of fire starting. There's also a small pack of Rolaids, which help to prevent acid reflux, which is really important, especially if you eat food that you're not used to for a few days. These are a few cotton balls that I soaked in wax. They're excellent for fire starting, and they usually burn for a few minutes, which is plenty of time to get a nice fire going. Finally, this is a spare N95 mask, which I keep as a backup to the gaiter, or it can be used in combination with it as well. Here's a glance at all the items I keep inside the Urban Get Home bag. If you want to check out any of the items in this kit, you can find links in the description. And if you have any thoughts on items that can be added to the kit to make it better, please share them below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, or thumbs down if you didn't, and make sure you're subscribed to the Urban Survivor channel for more videos like this one.